Okay, you're welcome. Great. So you're welcome to our meeting this morning, and I would just like to do a recap for those who did not attend the last meeting of what we covered last week so that we can be able to embed it into what we are going to cover this week. So last week, we talked about marketing our brand as individuals. We are handling a very, very important topic in the past 1 month about sponsoring. And what we are doing is we are talking about trying to attract people to us because we understood that people buy us before they actually buy our products, before they buy our opportunity. So what we are talking about is the power of your personal brand. Why is it that sometimes when people talk to particular individuals, these people say yes to the opportunity and other people say no, yet it's the same opportunity, same product, same marketing plan. You meet people who tell you, someone told me about that business, yeah, but they didn't start. But then when you tell them about the business, they get started. So there are quite a number of things that could lead to that. It could be timing, it could be very many reasons. But today we are going to focus on marketing your brand as an individual. So we are doing a series of being visible, standing out. And of course, we started off by talking about total image of a distributor, how you need to dress up. You need to dress for success rather than dressing, you need to dress as a prospect for success because we're in a business where we are selling, an opportunity that changes people's lives. So you need to look like you are someone who is changing your life. Secondly, last week we talked about poise. We talked about posture, our body language. All these things communicate a lot. It is called non-verbal communication. However, it communicates a lot. So very, very importantly, I would just like to do a recap. We talked about the way we need to sit, let it be in a meeting room, let it be on a one-on-one, let it be the way you stand. Standing can demonstrate whether you're confident or not. It can demonstrate whether you actually are confident or you are, the way we bend, the very small things that many people overlook. Of course, we talked about voice, okay? The way you speak to people, the way you present yourself, yeah, when you're speaking to others, the kind of tone of voice that you use. Sometimes people who are seen to talk maybe in a very quiet manner, maybe this could come off as lack of confidence, but also people who shout and yell, it could come off as disrespectful. So we need to find a way of toning our voice, our poise. We talked about poise, it is grace, beauty, in a physical movement, the way you carry yourself. These are some of the nonverbal communications that people look at and then they decide, oh my goodness, I want to be like this person. Then we have body language, okay? How you look is also as important as what you're saying, even the way you look, somebody's facial expression, what you do. I mean, if you're talking to somebody and they are dozing, yeah, what does that mean? That they are not interested in what you're saying, or probably they were tired, or, a smile, a handshake, eye contact, confidence, all that is very, very important to note. Okay, so we go ahead today and we would like to tackle a very, very important topic. And one of the things that I want to say is the moment you have this covered, you are going to build a fantastic business on top of having the knowledge on how you're going to present yourself, on top of having the knowledge on how to do one-on-ones, how to do the fishing, how to get your book, okay, the Dream Team chart, and you go cover to cover using. Now, today we are going to talk about etiquette, and etiquette is simply acceptable behavior. What is acceptable and what is not. Okay, and etiquette today, we are going to focus on 3 types of etiquette. And I believe that by the end of this presentation, you're going to learn 1 or 2 things that are going to enhance your business building skills. Okay, so today we are going to learn about meeting room etiquette. And here under meeting room etiquette, we also have the virtual meeting room etiquette. I want to say that today we are having a virtual meeting. So it is very, very important that you need to know how to conduct yourself in a virtual meeting when you have been asked to present in a virtual meeting, what you need to do. To conduct yourself in a manner that is acceptable. Okay, we are going to talk about phone etiquette. One of the things that you'll realize is we use our phones so much, especially in the kind of business that we are doing. So it's very, very important that we know how to conduct ourselves, even when we are using our phones. We don't just do things anyhow. Then I also thought of dining room etiquette. Why? Because we are going to have opportunities to travel to Dar es Salaam. We are going to have opportunities to travel to leadership school. We are going to dine and wine with some of, the top distributors in the world. You need to know how to conduct yourself. One time we had an opportunity to go to Dubai, and sorry, I have to give this example for learning purposes. I want to say that we were in a meeting room. Actually, it was dinner time with a group of Nigerians, but the way they behaved at that table was terrible. It was embarrassing. And from that time on, I realized that obvious things are not obvious. And I want us to start practicing, even at home, okay? Let us practice at home, because charity begins at home. You're not going to wake up in the morning and you're going to be excellent at etiquette without you practicing at home. So let's dive right into this animal called etiquette. And just to make it very simple for you, this word that sounds so big is actually broken down into acceptable behavior. What is acceptable and what is not? Okay, so there we go. Meeting room etiquette. Okay, I know we've had opportunities to have trainings like this weekend in Uganda. We are going to have a fantastic event at Imperial Royal Hotel. And that is one of the photos that was taken at the last event, not the last event maybe, but one of the events. Many times we have trainings, many times we go for conventions, many times we organize meetings. Like every Thursday afternoon, I travel to Mukono and we have a meeting every Thursday. Every Tuesday, I have a meeting. Every Wednesday, we are at Baden Powell for a meeting. So how are you supposed to behave, okay, in the meeting room, especially you, the person who is the distributor? Because when you invite a guest, some of the guests that we invite are very, very high quality people, and they pick up some of these things. But because we are not aware, you just wonder, but why is it that whenever I invite people, people don't get started in the business? Why is it that when I invite people, people don't want to know what I am doing, They observe some of these things and they say, you know what, I don't think I can be a part of this opportunity. Okay, so number 1, meeting room etiquette, punctuality. Do your best to arrive 10 minutes, to the commencement of the meeting. Okay, why? Because when you arrive late, you become very disruptive. Actually, it is very important that when you arrive, occupy the front seats and also from the middle going to the side. I see sometimes people like to sit on the edge of the seat, and then people have to keep on saying, excuse me, they have to. Now, from now on, understand that etiquette, good meeting room etiquette, requires you sit in the middle so that you don't have to keep on distracting people. Excuse me, can I pass? That kind of thing. It's very, very destructive, and it's very, very unfortunate because some people who might have come to listen into an opportunity that is going to change their life because you're moving back and forth, you distract them, okay? So very, very importantly, arrive early, sit from the front to the back. Actually, it is also good manners that when you arrive, go and use the washrooms. Some of us, the meeting has just started and then, you're moving to go to the washroom. You're distracting people. So most importantly, make sure that you avoid any distraction because the person you're distracting actually could have put in a lot of money. Yesterday, I was in Mokono, and in the last meeting, they had a whole coaster. They had mobilized. They had people who had traveled all the way. They had paid a lot of money. They had to wake up so early in the morning. They hired a vehicle to come. Now, this means that it cost them money, cost them time, thoughtfulness to come, to even invest money, to have lunch in town, to come for a meeting, and then someone is walking in front of them, in and out. People, let us be respectful when we're in the meeting. Go to the washrooms before, okay? Don't cross in front of people, in and out. You're going in and out. It is not good manners, okay? Then actively participate. Play along when it gets to the speaker's request. When the speaker requests you, pick a coffee, you clap. Let's recognize our brand new distributors. Clap. Play along. When you're speaking, when the speaker is speaking at the front, nod your head. When they ask you to stand up, don't be the person to sit, because it acts like it comes off as though you're very disrespectful. Who is this telling us to sit, to stand up? Play along. When they tell you we are going to have a break, please stand up, say hi to your neighbor. Please say hi to your neighbor. Ask questions where necessary. If this is in a setting where people have been given an opportunity to ask, maybe at the end of the meeting, don't interrupt the meeting to act as though you're very sharp for you. You know what you want. The reason I'm saying this is because I've had a lot of experience in the last 19 years traveling up country. As you have just started the meeting, guess what? People start asking you questions to show you that they know. That is very disrespectful. Ask questions at an opportune time when you have been asked to ask questions, okay? So very, very, very importantly, actively participate, nod your head. There's what they call synergy. And synergy is just that togetherness in the room. When guests are seated and their distributors spread all over and you're clapping, you're nodding your head in agreement, you are excited, you're playing along, that will rub off to the guests. And guess what? It will be acceptable. Well, you will get people to start the business because of that synergy. Okay, so behave respectfully, okay? Avoid destructive activities like picking up phone calls. Have your phone in silent. Can I say this again? Avoid destructive activities like picking up phone calls. Have your phone in silent mode. And by the way, all of us sometimes forget to put our phones in silent mode. So when the meeting is starting, as the MC, next time if you're invited to, lead, a meeting, tell people, get your phones out and let's put them in silent mode and let's see how we can be in position to, have a smooth meeting without interaction. So avoid destructive activities like picking up your phone. That is destructive. And I've given you a very good idea. Somebody could have been slept on the bus, traveled all the way from Arua to come and attend a meeting. And they have paid 40,000 for a ticket to come on a bus, another 40,000. And then halfway the meeting, your phone, you the neighbor, it is ringing and ringing and ringing. It is very, very disrespectful. So kindly remember this. Put your phones away or keep them in silent mode to avoid distraction, because this is very disrespectful to the people who have come in, okay? Then avoid eating. Some people come, mineral water bottles, bindazi. Bindazi is donuts, you're eating, you have what? Pilau. Pilau is like fried rice. The room is smelling. You're distracting the meeting. Please eat before the meeting or after the meeting. Don't eat during the meeting. To the specifics of chewing gum, it is not acceptable behavior. Sometimes the guests that we invite look at some of these things and they're like, what caliber of people is this? I would not like to associate with such individuals who are very disrespectful. Or you carried your fene. Fene is jackfruit, okay? And in the middle of the meeting, you're opening up your fene to eat. It is very disrespectful. Avoid eating unless if the meeting agenda involves eating. And if you've noticed, our meetings do not involve eating. Actually, many people ask me, Janet, are they going to serve food? And I tell them, you know what, you need to come when you've eaten, because we actually don't have time, or it's not on our agenda to sit and eat food, because this is purely a business meeting. So very, very importantly, meeting room etiquette, behave respectfully. Okay, now I would just like to, there are quite a number of other things which I will keep on referring to. Next time we'll probably talk about you being in charge of the room or you being asked to present. What do you present? How do you present? You have to be respectful of time. They've asked you to give a testimony of 2 minutes. You speak for 30 minutes. That means that you are going to you're going to cut down on everybody's time. That is not etiquette, okay? So there are quite a number of things, but those are things that I would think about and I would share with you for you to understand in the meeting room what happens, okay? Your posture, the way you handle yourself, less distractions, all those are very important. Now we have what we call a virtual meeting room. Now this is a virtual meeting room. And I want to say that when you have been called upon to attend a meeting virtually, it is as good as a physical meeting. One, it is very important for you to dress up properly. Now there are also 2 parts here, for the person who is presenting and the person who is attending. Just like in the normal meeting room, for the person who is presenting and the person who is attending. So today we are going to focus on the person who is the person who is attending. However, I may highlight here and there for the person who is presenting. So for a person who is presenting like myself, okay, because I know many of us many times are called upon, to probably present or give a point of, addition or something like that. And many of us actually in the virtual meeting rooms are not paying attention. That is very, very, very sad. And it's unacceptable behavior. If you log into a meeting, many times how we tell that many people are not paying attention is when sometimes people's microphones go off and you hear them talking, shouting, and surely this person is not in the meeting. Yeah. And then you wonder, why then did they log in? Did they log in to register presence? So very, very importantly, for a virtual meeting, one, it's a virtual meeting room. So you have to make sure that you present yourself in a manner. First of all, you have to dress appropriately. Yeah, when you're asked to present, you have to dress appropriately. Make sure you mind your background. It should not be distractive, okay? Children are playing. There was one time a clip on CNN during COVID where a presenter, the child walked in because this gentleman actually, instead of having himself look at the computer behind a wall, he was behind his office space and a child walked in and crowed in. This was on international TV. He was presenting. You can imagine how embarrassing that was. The baby crowed in and the mother came, crowed in, pulled in the baby. It was such a scene. So mind your background. Then switch on your video when you're presenting. People want to see you. People want to connect with you. People want to know you. And always make sure that you have sufficient lighting. Don't be in darkness, And then don't distract the meeting if you're the person on the other side. Some people distract the meeting. It's even, you can distract the meeting just by putting on your video. You're putting on your video, you are walking around the house, you're in your bed sleeping. Some people even put on their video and poke their teeth, and then everybody is seeing. That is not acceptable. So make sure that you don't distract the meeting. Then turn off. The first thing that I do when I enter a virtual meeting is to turn off my microphone or video if I'm not going to speak, because you never know. That's the first thing that you need to do. Check your microphone, check your video, and switch it off. One time, somebody, left their video on and they were attending a virtual meeting. This was actually a meeting for, I think it was a certain board of directors. And this specific individual was in Sudan. So what happened was he was a board member, very respectable. If I remember, he must even have been a minister. So he left on his microphone, he left on his video. So this guy got his phone and just put it there. Then he got out of bed, and also that's why it's very important to pay attention. He got out of bed, he removed his clothes when the whole world was seeing. Then he went to the bathroom when he was really naked. He brushed his teeth. He was even holding his phone while moving with it. Then he was brushing his teeth. After brushing his teeth, he walked, he dressed up. And the thing is, because we don't listen, so they were telling him, ambassador, I think he was an ambassador, not a minister. Ambassador, can you kindly switch off your video? And for him, he was not listening. Now, that is what happens. Many times we are on a call, we are not listening, you're busy, your video is on, they're telling of switch off your, mute your microphone, switch off your video, and you're not listening. So this happened, it went on for like 30 minutes. Guess what? These people had to even shut down the meeting because every scene that was coming on was more and more embarrassing. Actually, for me, I learned that day that when you're in a virtual meeting, be there, okay? Be there, yeah? If you decide to be in a virtual meeting on a Monday morning or whatever, be there. Don't be elsewhere and you're doing these things, you're bathing, it becomes very destructive. Then also very importantly, charge your phone batteries sufficiently in the virtual meeting and also in the other meeting. Why? Because many times we invite people, you didn't charge your phone, they call you, and guess what? You are not available. Many people come for the meetings and they say, I've been calling. Do you know a lady called Julie Nyanjara? I've been calling, her phone is off. Then you come off and you say, oh, my battery ran, my friend. You are showing how very unserious you are, and it doesn't come off well. If I was the person you've invited, I don't think I would love to join your team. Yeah. So pay attention to some of these small things. There's what they call OAD, and I think I'll handle it as a topic on its own. It's called obsessive attention to detail, okay? Very, very importantly. So those are some of the pointers of the virtual meetings that I wanted to highlight. Yeah, charge your phone, don't turn off your microphone when you're not speaking. Make sure that you're always paying attention because you can get called up to give a contribution anytime. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you mind your background. It should be professional, People should look at you and want to be a part of the opportunity. Now, I would like to talk about phone etiquette, okay? Phone etiquette. Remember, we are in a business of image. We are in a business of image. One, I would like to point out a few pointers. Communicate at appropriate hours. I think as distributors, one, we need to be very, very respectful. I know distributors who say they don't care. My friend, you need to start caring. Yeah, some of us call people who are married at 10, 11 in the evening. Now, the person you're calling may not care, but their partner may care. and they are not happy with that. And you realize their partner is so negative about the business, telling them don't go for those meetings anymore. It is because you, the upline, you call at inappropriate hours, you don't care, you're like, it's business time all the time. My friend, you need to start caring. Yeah. So please communicate at appropriate hours. Don't get your phone at 9 o'clock and you're calling people who, it is their time with their family. For you, I don't know, you're calling at 5 a.m. in the morning. What do you mean? Who are you? You need to cut them some slack. Yeah. Be very, very careful the times that you communicate. Send a message. Why do you send messages with, that are very suggestive? Yeah. If you do that, you are breaking the phone etiquette. No wonder some people don't want to be associated with the kind of business that we do, because they think, very many things. And this is because many times as distributors, we are not educated to actually care. Then your phone image. Regularly change your phone cover and screen protector. I managed to get an image of a phone. Some of us, our phones look like that. You put it on the table and everybody looks at it and is like, seriously? Are these people talking about an opportunity that changes people's lives? How is this person going to take care of me in the business when they can't even take care of their phone? Look at what that phone sincerely looks like. Look at what that phone looks like. And then you say, you know what? I would want to sponsor you into the business. Who would want to follow somebody who can't even take care of themselves? Yeah. So make sure that your phone is presentable. It looks good. If it is cracked, can't change. Use another phone cover. Image is everything. People read in between the lines. Yeah. When we talk about phone etiquette, manage your ringtones. Sometimes some of us, the phones are so loud. Yeah. We use very unprofessional ringtones. It's just like noise. So it's very, very important. Some people tie their phones with rubber bands because they fell down and broke. And you want to tell somebody that I would want to, show you an opportunity that is going to change your life. No. Yeah. Then speakerphone usage. Consider an environment and privacy. When you're speaking to people, I've seen people speaking in taxis. Hello, hey, Banangi. Oh, they're speaking so loudly. Everybody is listening to their conversation. Actually, for you, you might think that you're doing a good thing, but everybody around you is very, very disgusted. So very, very importantly, remember your phone etiquette, respect other people's privacy, don't tap people's conversations. That's what we are calling do not snoop, okay? Do not hold private conversations on loudspeaker. I mean, you're talking to your family, you're talking to your wife, and then you're on loudspeaker and everybody is listening. Then apply courtesy. Ask the person you're calling, yeah? When you call somebody, if it's during working hours, ask them, do you have a minute to talk? Yeah, then the person, when they give you a go ahead, go and state your case. Don't just call and for you're talking. They could be in a meeting, okay? There's what we call professional hygiene. Don't use slang. Now, this is when you're texting. You're putting emojis, you're saying, hi, you're talking to maybe a respectable person and you're using emojis, okay? You're using emojis, use appropriate abbreviations. Yeah, some of us use abbreviations like LOL. Yeah, and then you're sending to your customer who is respectable. Then reply professionally, be polite, don't shout or yell, and give yourself a very warm introduction. Hello, my name is Janet Navvuga Bugembe, and I'm calling you on behalf of Neolife. We would like to congratulate you upon the decision that you made to start the business last month. We would like to pledge our support and promise to support you on this journey. Have you received your kit? Be polite, be respectable, introduce yourself, don't shout, have all those things we've been talking about, the poise, that is what is going to attract people to you. So our time is fast spent, and we would like to stop here. I had a little bit more of what we call dining room etiquette, but I think this is something that we are going to handle next week because we are preparing ourselves to travel for the World Team Conventions. We are preparing ourselves to travel, to go and meet